Heyo, so in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a solid color beanie, especially this one. You can see that the top is nice and cinched. It is not bunched up or anything like that. So let's get right into it. You will need any kind of 4-weight yarn, a G hook, 4mm hook, scissors, and a darning needle. To start, we're going to make a slip knot. Now we are going to chain 52. Alright, here is my chain of 52. Now we are going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook. But what I like to do is I like to turn it and work in this back bump. I just like the way it looks on the flip side where you can actually see the top of the chain. I just like that as a cleaner look. You can do any way you want. If you just want to go through it and do the single crochet, it just depends on preference. But we are going to do one single crochet in each chain all the way down, and you should have 50 single crochets. Here is what the row looks like. I think at the beginning I said 50, that you would have 50 single crochets. I meant 51. I'm so sorry about that. You will have 51 single crochets, not 50. I'm so sorry. All right, we're going to chain one and turn. Now for the rest of this beanie, we are going to be working in the back loop only, which is right here, this back loop here. We're going to be working in this loop for the rest of the beanie. We are going to do 49 single crochets, meaning these two stitches down here are going to be left unworked. So 49 single crochets, back loop only. Alright, so now I'm at the top and I'm leaving these 2 stitches unworked. We're going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to do single crochet, back loop only all the way down. You should still have 49 single crochets. Alright, so this is what it looks like for right now. We have the 51 and then we have the 2 rows of 49. Now we're going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to do 47 back loop only single crochets all the way down. We're going to be leaving the last 2 stitches unworked again. And the main reason why we're leaving the last 2 stitches unworked is because after we get a certain amount of rows for this section, we are going to connect all of the rows together. That way, when you cinch the top closed, like the crown of the beanie closed, it won't be all bunched up. Alright, so I did my 47 single crochets. Now we're going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to do 1 single crochet again all the way down, so you should still have 47 single crochets. Remember, it is back loop only. I am trying to remind myself to say back loop only. If I don't say it, I am truly sorry. Each of these rows are back loop only. Alright, so here is what it is looking like. So you still have your 51. Here is the 49. Here is the 47. Now we are going to, there we go. Now we're going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to do 45 back loop only single crochets all the way down. We are leaving the last 2 stitches unworked. Alright, so here is what it looks like. we're going to chain 1 and turn, and then do 45 single crochets all the way down. Alright, here's what it looks like. We're going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to do 43 back loop only single crochets all the way down. Again, we're going to leave the last 2 stitches unworked. Alright, I'm at the end of my round. I skipped these 2 stitches. We're going to chain 1 and turn. Do 43 single crochets all the way down. Alright, this is what it looks like. So we have the 51, the 49, 47, 45, 43. Now for this last, I'm just gonna call it little notch row because they kind of look like notches. We're going to do 41 single crochets all the way down. We are skipping the last 2 stitches. So chain 1 and 41 single crochets. Alright, I'm at the end of my row, skipping the last 2 stitches. We're going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to do 41 single crochets all the way down. Alrighty, so we have the 51, 49, 47, 45, 43, and 41. Now this next row, we are going to do a single crochet all the way down to the end. And once we get here, we're going to be connecting all of the notches together. I'll meet you back at the end of this row. I'll just meet you back here. Alright, so I did my 41 single crochets. Remember to go through the last 2 single crochets. We are going to turn our work kind of upward so we can see the sides. You're going to place your hook through this bump right here on the side. Going to pull up a loop, keep that on your hook. You're going to go to the next single crochet, go through the back loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. See how we kind of connected this row to this row? The next single crochet, we're just going to do normal in the back loop. Now we're back here to the side, so we're going to go through this bump again, pull up a loop, go to the next single crochet, go through the back loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3. Next single crochet is just going to be a normal back loop only. The little bump, go through, loop, single crochet, back, pull through, yarn over, go through all 3. Then a normal back loop only single crochet. All right, so the top of the section, or the finished part of this section, should look like this. You connected all the notches together. So it's like a little slope. That's what it's looking like, right? So this is just one section. I do 5 to 6 sections depending upon the weight of the yarn. Since this is 4 weight, I would only do 5 sections. And this is considered one section. So I'll do the next section with you. I'll also have in the description the steps as well. When this video comes out, I will also have a written pattern out if you want to go grab the pattern instead of coming back to the video or rewatching. That's totally fine. It is entirely up to you. Just want to throw that out there. So we will do the next section together, and then after that, the 3 other sections you can do on your own. So we are going to chain 1, turn, and do 51 single crochets all the way down. All right, we're going to chain one and turn. We're going to do 49 back loop only single crochets. We are going to be skipping these last 2 stitches. All right, now we're up here. We left these 2 stitches unworked. We're going to chain one and single crochet all the way back down. We should still have 49 single crochets. Okay, so now we're going to chain one and turn. We're going to do 47 single crochets, leaving the last 2 stitches unworked. All right, I reached the end. Now we're going to chain one and turn, and then do single crochets all the way down again. Chain one and turn. Now we're going to do 45 single crochets. All right, I'm at the end of my row, so I'm going to chain one and turn 45 single crochets all the way down. Right, we're going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to do 43 single crochets. All right, going to chain 1 and turn. Going to single crochet all the way back down, still having 43 single crochets. All right, at the end of my row, chain 1 and turn. We're going to do 41 single crochets. All right, going to chain 1 and turn and do 41 single crochets all the way back down. All right, so we have 51, 49, 47, 45, 43, and 41. The little 5 notches. Now we are on the connecting row. So we're going to do 41 single crochets all the way up, and I'll meet you back here. All right, I did my 41 single crochets. Now we're going to connect the notches together. So we're going to turn our work just a little upward so we can see. Now we're going to go through that bump on the end, pull up a loop, go through the back loop of the next single crochet, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Then the next single crochet, we're just going to do a regular back loop only single crochet. I'm going to go through the bump again, pull up a loop, single crochet, back loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Then a regular single crochet. All right, so now you've completed 2 sections. You can see the little section here, and then here is the second section. This is how it is right now. Okay, so 2 sections done. You're going to repeat this 3 more times, so you have 5 sections in total. The last row should be your connecting one, where you go up and you connect all the notches together. So I will meet you back at the final row of the 5th section. All right, here is how my beanie is looking after the 5 sections. Yes, it's going to curl at the top. Yes, it's going to look like this at the bottom. It's just going to look like this for now. Okay, it's just for now. So I finished the last row of the section. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to do one more final row going down of just single crochets all the way down to here. And then once you get here, make sure you fasten off and leave a long tail, because we're going to sew the 2 sides together going up. And then we're going to singe the top together as well. Alright, so you can sew the sides together or connect the sides together any way that you want. I like to do I'm pretty sure it's called whip stitch, where you just go through one single crochet, then go through the other, or go through one stitch and then go through the other stitch and then just pull. So it's basically just over, go through, and pull. That's what I do. Some people like to do the invisible stitch. You know, whatever you prefer. Okay, so I wanted to keep this in to show that here I have 3 stitches left here, but I only have 2 here, which means that I made a mistake somewhere down here. But it is this pattern's very, what's the word, like forgivable. So instead of just, taking all these out to find it, which I'm not going to do, I'm just going to be honest, I'm going to go through the stitch that I went, through before for this one to connect this one. I'm going to go to the next stitch here and just pull through. And then I have 2 stitches here and 2 stitches here. Explaining this part is very difficult, but I just wanted to show that the pattern is very forgiving. So if you do go through 2 stitches at some point, in the middle here or maybe at the start, you can just fix it up here. I have to say, if it's more than just like one stitch, like if one side's 4 and the other side's 2, maybe you would want to go back and try to find where you made the mistake at. But in all honesty, you could just fix it at the top. Nobody's really gonna know. Nobody's gonna know. So I had the two sides together here, did my whip stitch. This is just what I do when cinching the top. You can do any way you want to do. Like this whole part here, attaching, cinching the top, any method you like. I'm just showing you what I like to do. So I'll not redo, I'll do another whip stitch. Then I hold on to this loop here and I take the yarn end and I go through and I create a knot. Create a knot right there. I am going to cut this yarn end because it is kind of long. There we go. I'm going to take the rest of this and put it to the side for the time being. Going to make another knot. Like so. I'm going to take this end here, put it back on my needle. And if you look, you can kind of see where there's bumps. Like there's a bump here, there's a bump right here, there's a bump right there. I'll just take my needle, go through the bump, go all the way through, go to the next bump, and this one's right here. And this one's right here. We have this one. And this one is, hold on, right here. Okay. Now I'm going to go through all the bumps again. Oops. I think I cut the end a little too short, but it's okay. Okay. Like so. And I'm going to pull closed. There we go. This one's not. Oh no, where'd it go wrong? There we go. Sometimes you just have to pull a little bit tighter, and that's all. All right, so now the top is closed here. I'm going to split my yarn in half. 2 strands on one side, 2 strands on the other side. I'm going to take one side, which should be 2 strands. If I could get both of them on the needle. There we go. And we're just going to go through just one loop right here. Pull through. Now I'm going to make a bunch of knots securing it. Now I'm going to hide this end here, but I'm going to do it on the seam. Now I'm going to hide this end down here. Snip off again. And I'm going to turn it inside out. You can't see what I'm doing. I'm turning it inside out. I'm sorry. I wanted to show if you can see That's the top right there of the beanie. I may put it on my mannequin head so you can see it better. So this is how the beanie looks once the sides are sewn together and the top is cinched. Here's how the back looks. You can see somewhat of the seam back here, but this is the back, so you know, this is how the beanie looks. I'm gonna go grab a mannequin head and put it on the mannequin head. I just really wanted to show that this is the top part of the beanie, and you can see how there's really no bumps, not really bumps, but like scrunched up here, besides just cinching it together. Yeah, now your beanie is all done, ready to go, ready to be worn, ready to gift to somebody, or your next market. Whatever, whichever. Words are very difficult. But yes, your beanie is now done. Thank you again for watching. Until next time, bye.